We all saw the animated movie Anastasia and wondered if such an amazing story actually happened in real life. Although the movie is based on a true story, it doesn't exactly tell the truth about Princess Anastasia. Apart from the grandeur and splendor of the Romanov dynasty, the names of the characters and the dates, everything we see in the film is nothing more than legends. So, what is the true story of the last Romanovs and their tragic fate? The Romanovs are probably the longest ruling royal family, for 305 years to be exact. The history of this dynasty began and ended in a similar way, with the first and the last Romanov living in exile and during the most turbulent moments of Russian history. Both Mikhail in 1613 and Alexei in 1918 were abruptly awakened early one morning. Mikhail was awoken to become the first Tsar of Russia. Alexei was awakened to die. Why? Since the 19th century, the popularity of the monarchy in Russia began to decline. The last Russian emperors focused on maintaining the autocratic order, which only benefited the royals while the people were plunged into absolute misery. The non-conformity of the people had already taken the life of one Tsar, Nicholas II's grandfather, Alexander II, who was assassinated in what was called the First Russian Revolution. Nicholas was not a great strategist, and even after his father's death, he confessed that he did not feel prepared to take on the role of Tsar of Russia. Despite the political difficulties that plagued the empire, Nicholas focused almost all of his attention on his youngest son, Alexei, who suffered from hemophilia. At the age of 3, Alexei had an accident while playing that almost took his life. No doctor was able to relieve the child's pain, so they desperately accepted the help of a mysterious monk, the famous Rasputin. According to the story, just by praying with him, the young Tsarevich calmed down and his suffering ceased. Rasputin quickly became Alexei's shadow, causing great controversy in the country, which didn't trust this mysterious monk. The Romanovs' problems really started with Tsar Nicholas's insistence on participating in World War I. Some 12 million Russian soldiers were sent to the battlefield under the leadership of their Tsar. Nicholas believed that a victory would give him the glory that his predecessor Alexander I had received after defeating Napoleon. In his absence, Rasputin took control of the throne, which angered both the court and the people. In addition, given Rasputin's closeness to Tsarina Alexandra, speculation about a possible love affair began to grow, and the anger of the people was magnified. Rasputin was assassinated in 1916 by the husband of Nicholas's niece, Felix Yusupov. However, the monk's death did not alleviate the people's anger. On the contrary, Russia's participation in the war did not turn out as Nicholas had thought. 3 out of 4 soldiers died. When Nicholas returned, instead of showing his face, he only secluded himself and his family in their palaces. In the February Revolution of 1917, Nicholas was forced to abdicate in favor of his brother, who cleverly did not accept and fled the country. The provisional government imprisoned Nicholas, Alexandra, and their 5 children, who were sent to a palace in Tobolsk, where they were allowed to continue their luxurious lifestyle. In 1918, after King George V of the United Kingdom, Queen Elizabeth's grandfather, refused to help his cousin escape, the royal family was taken to their final destination in Yekaterinburg on July 17th, with Lenin's approval, they were brutally murdered. So, where does the legend of Anastasia come from? In most stories, it is said that Nicholas's mother, Empress Maria, never accepted the fate of her son and his family. In addition, at first, the new Bolshevik government only announced the execution of Tsar Nicholas II and assured that his family was alive. In the following years, at least 10 young women claimed to be Grand Duchess Anastasia. The most convincing was Anna Anderson. Anderson, a young Polish woman, claimed to be Anastasia and told a story in which she had managed to escape but had suffered from amnesia, so she couldn't say anything. In 1991, the bodies of Nicholas, Alexandra, and 3 of their daughters were found after decades, which made the story of the lost princess credible. Thanks to the discovery of the bodies, it was shown that Anderson had no ties to the Romanovs, but the question of Anastasia's fate remained alive. In 2007, the remains of Alexei and Anastasia were found near where the bodies of the rest of the family were found. Thanks to a DNA sample from Prince Philip, Queen Elizabeth's husband, who was the closest relative of the Russian imperial family, it was confirmed that the entire royal family had been killed early that night. History, myth, or legend, there is no doubt that the Romanov dynasty will continue to cause interest and fascination.